Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans on this Tuesday, March 3rd, 2020. I'd like to bring you some information pertaining to 15-month-old Evelyn Mae Boswell missing out of Sullivan County, Tennessee. And the said information is brought to you by Bristol Herald Courier. Judge rejects bid to reduce Megan Boswell's bond. A slight smile crept across Megan Boswell's face a couple of times during her nearly 15-minute Monday appearance in General Sessions Court, where a judge rejected her request to reduce bail and scheduled her next hearing in May. Dressed in a two-tone gray jail jumpsuit and shackled in handcuffs while seated in the witness chair, the mother of missing toddler Evelyn Mae Boswell occasionally gazed around the courtroom, nearly empty except for about a dozen members of the news media. She spent most of the hearing looking at Judge Klein Lauterbach and answering his questions, or at Brad Sproles, the Kingsport attorney who represented her at Monday's hearing. Boswell, 18, is charged with lying to investigators in the case of her missing 15-month-old daughter who hasn't been seen since December. An Amber Alert was issued February 19th, and Sullivan authorities are working with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and the FBI on the case. Under oath, Boswell told the judge she currently has no income and wanted an attorney to represent her. She is scheduled to appear May 8th at 9 a.m. in Sullivan County Criminal Court on a charge of filing a false report, a Class D felony. If convicted, she could be sentenced to 2 to 4 years in jail. She was arrested last week after Sheriff Jeff Cassidy said she repeatedly made conflicting statements that impeded and delayed efforts of detectives looking for her daughter. Boswell falsely told investigators in February that Evelyn was with the child's father, Ethan Perry, 20, despite the fact that he was stationed in Louisiana with the Army and did not actually have her, a court document shows. It was Evelyn Boswell's grandfather who notified authorities last month that he hadn't seen the child since December. Sproles unsuccessfully petitioned Lauterbach to reduce her bond from $25,000 to $10,000. She is a lifelong resident of Sullivan County. She is working. She has family in the community, a family history in the area, and no previous criminal record, Sproles said during the hearing. I believe the appropriate bond is $10,000. Assistant District Attorney Teresa Nelson said, "While it is true Boswell has no prior criminal history, the circumstances of the case and uncertainty over her residence made her a flight risk. Boswell no longer lives at the address given to authorities," Nelson said. "Her residence is in question and unstable," Nelson told the judge, who agreed to leave the bond unchanged. None of the more than 800 tips submitted regarding Evelyn Boswell has resulted in a sighting with the missing girl in the nearly 2 weeks since the Amber Alert was issued, according to TBI. "In order to preserve the integrity of the investigation, we are limited to what can be released publicly," the TBI's Leslie Earhart wrote in an online Twitter message. "Please know the search continues. If we determine there is credible sighting of Evelyn, we will make the public aware. Anyone with information about Evelyn Mae Boswell is asked to call 1-800-TBI-FINE. And then it has D. McGee at bristolnews.com, 276-645-2532. Then Twitter at DM D. McGee BHC. Facebook.com, David McGee 127 if you want to reach the people at the Bristol Herald. That's the said information brought to you by the Bristol Herald Courier. And now I will bring you other sources of information pertaining to the missing child, Miss Evelyn Mae Boswell. Let me give you a timeline of events for those who are just joining us to this storyline. A sitter who has not been identified gave information to authorities around December 10th or 11th is when she or he last saw the child. December 26th, this is the date that was entered into the database as the baby was last seen. February 18th is when CSO receives referral from DCS. February 19th, 4:05 p.m., public is informed of missing baby. February 19th, 8 p.m., a little bit before 8 p.m., an Amber Alert is issued. February 21st, BMW found in Wilkes County, North Carolina, with Angela Boswell and William McLeod arrested. February 24th, both appear in Wilkes County Court. February 25th, Megan Boswell is arrested on false reporting charge. February 26th, Wilkes County authorities search pond, nothing found. McLeod is transferred to Sullivan County Jail. February 28th, TBI executes search warrant at Bluntful Mobile Home. Angela Boswell is released from jail. My next commentary is from News 11. Angela Boswell is free on bond. The ankle bracelet that was issued to her is for monitoring purposes only. She can roam about freely as she sees fit. News 11 Kelly Grossfield went to her said residence address for comment, but was not able to make contact. Now, I don't know if it's a matter of she actually was at this address and wouldn't open the door, or she does not live there. As far as court appearances, she is to appear, Angela Boswell, in court tomorrow, Wednesday, March 4th. Sorry. Trying to do some things, get this volume down. Next source is WMC5. The sheriff says they will share updates in the search for Evelyn May Boswell, but they will not give information related to the documents that are sealed by the grand jury. And that leads us to wonder what the grand jury has in store. Will there be an indictment for Megan Boswell in the disappearance of her child and other charges? Because we already know she's in custody for filing a false report pertaining to her child. So, what does the grand jury have up their sleeve as far as any other charges pertaining to the missing child? The sheriff also wants people to stop sharing false information, rumors, innuendos on social media because it hinders the investigation, and people have been calling in that said information to the authorities, and they're running around on those leads which are leading nowhere, which is taking up their time and resources. So you all stop gossiping on Facebook about things pertaining to this child and the mother and on if you do not have factual information. The Facebook posts that the baby was found over the weekend and by a Facebook group out of Oregon were false. Captain Seabolt says he will not give any type of information through a Facebook post. If the sheriff's office, they have any information, it will be communicated of a major development through the media. As of Monday, there have been no new developments pertaining to the missing child. Court documents pertaining to this case, search warrants, etc., are sealed per order from Judge Jim Goodwin, and the sheriff, cannot speak of any evidence that have been collected in this case. FBI, TBI, all said authority agents. If you have any information pertaining to this missing child, please notify 1-800-TBI-FINE. Next news source is WKRN News 2. It is now into week 3, and Sheriff Jeff Cassidy says that some of the members of the Boswell family have concerns pertaining to the investigation. They have been aggravated about areas that have been checked and the authorities asking them questions, which to Jeff Cassidy, he says it doesn't make any sense to him what the problem is, what they're aggravated about. Why are they aggravated? Why would you be aggravated about the questions that they're asking you? Okay. Jeff Cassidy makes it known that the main concern is to find Evelyn. She is their top priority, and that these people, the Boswell family, are the ones that really should know where Evelyn is or any info about Evelyn, and they are the main ones that have been giving inaccurate information to the authorities, and they should be the ones also giving information that they need. The timeline has been difficult, he states. It's been a matter of 48 to 72 hours is critical when a child is missing, and we have to know about it, and we're talking 68, close to 70 days before she was reported missing. And this And that just muddies the water and makes the investigation difficult. He also wants everyone to know that they have been utilizing external resources because obviously they don't have the manpower to search for Miss Boswell, Miss Evelyn Boswell. So they have been using outside resources. He basically wants everyone to know that they do not have the resources to do this on their own. So they are very grateful, and it's great to have the TBI U.S. Marshals that have helped too, and that some of the tips they have passed on to these said agencies to help out. With the help of these agencies, Cassidy indicated officials have received an outpouring of support from the community. The reward at the moment is at $71,300 as of Monday, and questions have been asked about what will happen should Evelyn is returned home safely. Cassidy told WJHL that she will be placed in the care of the state of Tennessee and will not be returned to the care of her mother. Now for my commentary for the said sources that I've given you. At the moment, Megan is in custody. She will not have a court hearing until May. As you see, she's asked for an attorney because she doesn't have said money. I think it was a joke that her attorney had the nerve to ask for her bond to be reduced when you've already stated in court that she doesn't have a stable place to live. So why would a judge then give her a reduced bond so she could go on the run, hiatus, whichsoever? It makes no sense. Angela is currently out on bond, and she has not been reached, nor has she spoken to the news. Why is that? Why hasn't the mother, who could not wait to get to Sullivan County Jail, state of Tennessee, to go to court, but yet you have not spoken to the public to let anyone know anything about the whereabouts of the child? The last time you saw the child was with the child. Last time you were with your daughter, And where is she currently staying at the moment, Miss Angela Boswell? Okay, why are the Boswell's aggravated about the search? What are you hiding? You all started this, whoever, whichsoever, because now I'm about confused because this article I just read states that Angela's Megan's grandfather is the one who gave the tip. So are we still talking about Mr. Boswell Sr., or we're talking about Tommy Boswell Sr.'s father? Why are you aggravated about the search? I don't understand that either. I'm confused like the sheriff. You all are supposed to be allegedly concerned about this child, and obviously, I don't even know if you're concerned about Megan. I can't tell. Either or. Why would you all be upset about where the authorities are searching? Searching your home, your property, under a trailer, in a trailer, around the area of the homes. They're looking for a missing child that is related to you. So what is your problem? Makes no sense. These are the stupidest and most ignorant people I've ever seen. Only time people have a problem with you searching is if they're worried about you finding something. And are you worried about being implicated? Well, see, hey, Mr. Boswell, you spawned that little girl, Megan Boswell. So take it up with her. That's how I feel. Okay. The fact that the child will be placed in state's care if she is found alive, that's even more sad. That this child doesn't have one living relative that the state could place her in their care. How pathetic and sad to be in the world. Something happens to your children, whether it be you did it or not. Something foul to the child, whatever. The fact that the state would have to take the child, and we already know the statistics of children being in the state's care doesn't fare very well. Infants and babies have a better chance of being placed in the state's care, for those who don't know. But as children get older, they are harder to place. And then when they are placed, things tend to go awry. And then the child is then taken to another location because the parent doesn't want that child. Complaints of the child acting out, this and that. They're not jiving well with the child. Yes, horrible, horrible stories. And then, of course, you have your worst case scenarios of alleged abuse, this and that. Child molestation, on and on. Okay. fact that the state revealed in court that Megan Boswell does not have a stable home. Well, see, that goes back to what I've been asking in my past videos. Where has she been staying? Where was she staying when you all executed the first welfare check? I got down here that they went to a certain location, to a home on Sandy Point Drive. Whose house is this? And how long was she staying in that trailer that you all were searching? We'll get to that here in a second. This Zachary guy who lives in that alleged trailer that was searched. What really is going on with that trailer? Who gave information to search that trailer? We saw the hole that was on the side of the trailer that was already pre-dug before Mr. Zachary and his family moved in that trailer. They were living in a trailer on an adjacent lot before they moved in trailer number 2. So before they moved in trailer number 2, which was allegedly where Miss Megan lived, I don't know for sure. Was she living there? Because allegedly they found a stroller there. A pillow and a styrofoam was what they were looking for in the search warrant. And that's another thing. Who is giving information about that trailer and to go look there? It just so happened there's a piece missing and a hole was deep down in there that you could drop something in. And I just thought, why would you leave that open? I thought that was odd. TBI Special Agent David Grass wrote the information for that said search warrant, and they were seeking any forensic evidence or clothing or any personal infant articles of Evelyn Boswell, according to the documents shown to the Bristol Herald paper. Investigators were following up on information and have been throughout the investigation. And Captain Seabolt says investigators had been to that location that said trailer 2 other times, searching and talking to the people who lived there. And as I told you all, this Zachary Warfield does not ever remember seeing Evelyn or Megan when they lived, I guess, at the trailer number 1. They lived there a few months in this second trailer, and they lived in the first trailer on adjacent lot for 1 month. So where they currently are now, where the search went on, they've only been there a few months. Before that, they were at an adjacent trailer for a month. And he is stating he never saw the mother or the child, Megan Boswell or Evelyn Boswell. So this goes back to what I just asked. Then if he never saw them months ago when they lived in trailer number 1, where the hell was she living with the baby? Okay. And as I state, DCS worker Harass went to the home on Sandy Point Drive to speak with Megan when they were doing the welfare check. She told them the baby was with Ethan Perry. She was supposed to meet him February 19th at a parking lot in Colonial Heights at 4 p.m. But it was been stated the father was in the military in Louisiana station, and an Army public information officer told the Herald he was enlisted for almost 3 years and that he would be provided support by his command team due to this dire situation. So I'm about as confused as I'll get out with the said information. So I brought you 3 sources of information: News 11, WMC5, and the Bristol Herald. And I just find it odd that with all this information, what led them to this place, this trailer? Somebody had to give information for this agent to come up with seeking toddler clothes and clothing, any personal effects of Evelyn. Don't you find that interesting? So I feel like somebody is talking. Somebody has given information that that was the last location where she lived. But yet when you talk to this gentleman, he gives a statement to the paper. He doesn't even remember seeing her or the baby when his family first lived in trailer number 1. Okay? Now they're in trailer number 2. And obviously he hasn't seen her or the baby. And then the last sightings of the child was December 10th or 11th by a sitter. Then it went to December 26th. Then the other grandfather, Mr. Jones, Angela's father, states he hadn't seen the baby since, what was it? Before Thanksgiving, a week before Thanksgiving. So each person has a different account of when they last saw the child. The mother has given a false report. Every time she speaks to authorities, her story changes. And the sheriff has made that clear to let everyone know that every time they talk to her, her story has changed every time she gives a statement, which to me is a sign of guilt of something. And as I state, by now, somebody would at least come forward with the child to say, hey, I have the child, this is how I came to get the child, blah, blah, blah. And this story would be null and void. It would be over with. Now, what version they'd give to the public to tell the truth about how they got to the child, I don't know. Because I don't know what they would and would not reveal in case it was an actual legal adoption. Because that information is private in this state. So I don't know if they would reveal that if found out she was legally adopted. But this is a harrowing case. And I'm checking my time, sorry. And it's sad. And as you see, nothing is adding up. Because now you're getting conflict of addresses. The Boswell'S are getting tissy fits over what property and things are being searched that belong to them, which makes no sense. I agree with the sheriff. Why are you worrying about that? The child is missing. Your family member is missing, and you're worrying about searching a stupid trailer and around your property. Where else are we supposed to go look? That's the first thing you do, is you go look where allegedly a person last lived or stayed. You see, these people have something to hide. I think they're grainy. I think they're fraudulent. I think they have something to hide. It may not even have anything to do with the baby itself being missing or harmed. It's just they not above par. And nor is Angela, William McLeod, or Megan Boswell. Who has what to do with what pertaining to the child, disappearance, harming her, I don't know. But I feel like all roads lead to Megan Boswell because she was the custodian of the child. And I think she knows exactly where her child is. And I do believe she has harmed Evelyn May Boswell. This is my said information. Like, share, comment. Let me know what you think of the said information that has been revealed. Because this is a horrific story, and I just don't see this child telling the truth, even in court, smirking and laughing and smiling. What's so funny? Ikamel, that was a great video you put up with all those gasps she gave. I was laughing because it was sad, because I stopped counting after 5. You can tell something's not right with this girl, and you can see there's no remorse for this child being missing. And that's why I know she's behind whatever happened to her. And I don't think it's good. I want to thank you all for liking, subscribing. Please subscribe. Pass this video on. Pass the information along. And let's send a prayer out to the people of Nashville and surrounding counties, Cookville, Germantown, Tennessee, who had tornadoes touch down. Prayers for those people. Prayers to the victims' families, because there have been some people who lost their lives in those said tornadoes. And I'm grateful to tell you all I am safe right here in East Tennessee. God is good, and He has blessed the Queen and blessed this area where I reside and kept us safe last night because somebody didn't wake up this morning. And also sending prayers for Evelyn May Boswell. Thanks for joining me. Like, share, subscribe, and drop your comments below. And until the next video, this is Everyday Shenanigans. Bye-bye.